How you doing, everybody? It's me, Trader Max from Shogun Crypto, here on April 30th, 2025. And in this state of Shogun, I'm going to talk to you today about the one thing that's the only thing we're covering today, because it is very, very important, and I want to show you what it's doing and why this is so powerful for all of you. And I cannot wait to show you, but it's about the Anvil 2.5. Let's get started. All right, so I'm going to go down in history a little bit of what the Anvil really started out with. About 5-6 months ago, the Anvil started out as a temper bot because we were testing out the chart values that were on the network of Shogun. And I wanted to create a way to be able to trade without having to stand on top of it. So we created our first volume bot just by testing out and how to actually make the trades, attach to Radium, do all that kind of stuff, and really get involved. We then came out with the Anvil 1.0, and this system itself, very powerful, but it required for us, as you can kind of see, there's a lot of stuff that's happening back here in my network here. But the Anvil 1.0 was something that was designed around a single service network, and you can only trade one coin, and you can only have one wallet. And there was a lot of speculation, if we only had multiple wallets, if we had all this stuff. And I heard it all, right? This is how we do it. This is how we release the MVP. This is a lot of stuff that we do, right? So we built that 1.0, and it was a service that was done by you deposit a SOL, we take 20%, and we call that a deposit fee service system. And that worked for a minute, but then as people were using the bot was working so well that deposits they went from being once and never happening again. And so we would get a 20% fee off the front when they first did it, but then they weren't putting them in because it was making money and it was doing a lot of stuff and it had a lot of services. And so we were probably getting what we normally would get for the first month, but second month and third month, we weren't getting anything. So, or we wouldn't have gotten anything at that point. So we decided to go as a subscription service, pay per month. And that worked for a little bit with the process for the 1.0, that we had a pay per subscription, I should say, and it worked for a short period of time, but people, the barrier of entry is a little high for them, and they wanted to make sure it was working. I was constantly giving deals and trying to do all this stuff, and we weren't making the money. We needed to find a way, like we had done with our Tsunami bot, to find a transactional system that the fees would come out of the transactions, however much, however small they may be. But the problem was that transactional fees per each one that was happening was exorbitant. It was like for every time we were spending more in fees than we were making in fees from the bot. So we didn't want that to happen, and we didn't want to charge you for it. So we were taking the cost of it. So then we decided that we were going to build out the system. We put the 2.0 out, and it had finally a transactional system. So what we had done is that we allowed it to build up some by keeping track of how much it was. So the fees were being accumulated, but then they would be taken out at one time. Every time it hit 0.05 of a SOL, it would take out that money for the fees for using the bot. And that was okay, but it was still, right? It was still, we needed to get it to that every transaction took out a fee. Also, 2.0 really only had the availability because it was a single service. Now, the best analogy I come up with, what we call for servicing, is like when I come to the Anvil bot, I join the Anvil bot like walking onto a boat. If the person next to me wants to use Anvil bot too, they come on and they come onto my boat. We get 40 people, the boat fits 40 people, yay for us. But if the boat wants to have more people, it has to buy a bigger boat or a different boat completely and fill it up with 40 people. Then we have all these single service incidences happening. Where in the 2.5, we have what we refer to as microservices and containership, which means that when I come to the system, I walk onto the boat, but it's my boat. It fits perfectly for me. The person next to me comes and they want to get into the Anvil 2.5, they get in their own boat. Then we got 50 boats because we got 50 people. And if we want 1,000 people, they just have to get their own boat. And that's them joining the system, and it gives it to them, and we take it out of the fees, and it works just fine. So every single person that starts with it gets their own boat and their own service. So this way it keeps in the network keeps it strong. Plus what that means, because it has containership, which means that we only spend on the money that we need. We're not buying a giant boat and paying for this big old huge boat while it only has one person in it. So every boat's being paid for as it goes. That's powerful for us because it allows us to keep our price down, which means that we don't have to spend a lot in fees and we can actually spend less in fees or into the network itself. So, but this takes time. Yes, we didn't have millions of dollars to spend to buy this big giant program and have thousands of people in it, but we have created this now that it has been built in a very special way that I'm very excited now that this is one of the most powerful systems I've ever worked on. And because these microservices are here, we created something else into the containership called modularization. And what does this mean? This means that the trading system that you see, the ratio trading system, is its own module, right? The two-way system of creating a channel is its own module. The single line, what we call one-way, is its own module. You didn't even notice a difference in it, or you won't notice a difference in it, because it looks and stays exactly the same, but it's not. Behind the scenes, there's a lot of value that's happening back there. So what this means is that the one-way system is really referred to as the DCA program. That's its own thing. As we have AI come into this network soon, a new module that'll be out is sort of like what the temper bot is. It will make trades based on the relativity of your chart's movement. That means if your organic traffic is in there trading and you have a big giant deviation of a buy, it will help temper that out by selling some of it off and by occurring it. And if there's a big giant sell-off, it'll have an ability to buy in to keep the level flat. You can choose a level to be at or to be above a certain resistance area, and that module coming out in 3.0 is very powerful. Now, every single thing that happens from here is all about the modularization and the build out. Lastly, let's talk about one of my favorite parts in this. Is why it's one of my favorite, because one of the biggest things that most coins struggle with is a way to make money. And not just by trading their chart or by trading others' charts or by trading in general, but by allowing the services systems that they provide. And now I'm giving these hundreds or so coins that we're involved with the opportunity to make money. Because we're basically unlimited amount of people that can get into the system, which I'm so excited for, we've worked so hard for, that now you as the individual have the availability to make a couple of bucks. If you give it to somebody who's trading a lot or trading high numbers, you can make a pretty decent living on it, especially if you have 20, 30, 40, 50 people buy into the system. You can be making a couple cents an hour or 2 or 3 cents an hour. That may not seem like a lot, but it's not money that you've had to put any investment in. And if they're trading a lot, like a couple thousand trades a day at higher levels of $2 or $3, $4 a trade or $10 a trade, you can actually make a couple bucks from each one of those, and it compounds over every single month as you build up. You build up more people, you got more money coming in, and it's paid instantaneous. You are not waiting a week to reach a certain level. When it will pay you 0.001 of a cent, right? So like 1/100th of a cent. That's why it's a microtransaction that we have put in a very priority way. So the fees for that are still all for like one trade happening. The fees for one trade and one transaction in our network, we could have 30 things in there. It's amazing. We really love it. It's such a great opportunity. But it gives you as a community, even as a trader, even as some poor guy or poor girl who's out there who just wants to, maybe you got a good blog or you want to be in crypto and you want to tell people about this awesome system out there. Now, every single person who's in the industry of crypto can use this bot, DCA in, DCA out, make ratio trades, follow the trends. We're going to have hundreds of videos out there teaching you exactly what to do. And trust me, we have the data now to prove it. Why this is so powerful, because the other thing is the 2.5 has an automatic purchase system back into the coin. 25% of everything that's made in the network is going to go back into the coin to and buy the actual physical coin for Shogun. That means that if you have a small bag, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, get over there, get yourself a small bag, front run that shit that I just told you, because it's going to continue to build up. The bot systems are going to buy that 25% of everything that it makes every single day. In fact, in some cases, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times a day, it's going to be buying coin. So again, this is how powerful this is. So enough talk. Let me show you what it looks like so you can see what it is. It's right up in here. So you get an open wallet, you get to have a wallet, you get to do multiple tokens, you can do multiple tokens with multiple wallets. The power of the affiliate program is here. There's the affiliate program. Boom. You also enter the open wallet in the wallet system. You're able to have your own private key, which is super huge. You can check your balances directly from the system. As you can tell, it moves so fast. Boosting the token is as easy as a button push now to choose your coin that you have, again, with multiple coins, multiple wallets. It also has a memory wallet system in and out to have up to 5 wallets for every single wallet. Every single funding wallet will have up to 5 wallets that it'll be trade with on all the coins that they're working on. There is so many more features that are coming in 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8, all the way up to 3.0, which will be releasing the Metarora coin and the final modularization of the DCA bot that'll be inside the system under that modularization. I cannot wait for you all to get to use it. I'm Trader Max. We'll see you next time, and as always, trade well.